Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister who received this confession. The message reads like this. I never thought that I'll be a man that will be sitting here looking at all the mistakes that I made many years ago. So it was back somewhere in the 1990s. Life was really different. I was different. I was feared. A name that always echoed through the streets in Johannesburg. So they used to call me Skara. I've changed my name. So I was someone who was involved in a lot of stuff that involved mix of violence, fear, and stuff like that. You know, the things that we used to do in the underworld. But fear also has a way of turning on you. The more that you become violent, the more the violence will be perpetrated against you. So when the law came crashing down on me, and it felt as if I was now being hunted by vultures, that was when I turned into something that was dark. I knew that there were a couple of people that were using these charms, those that were untouchable, those that looked like they did not care. Someone would kill someone today, then the next day they will be killing another person. So I had heard about this charm that is called Izizwe, a charm that can make you more like a demon, and you won't even feel bad about killing anyone, and it feels as if those things that I did in the past, they are now haunting me, because my grandchildren, they are the ones that are paying the price. It was in 1996. At that time, I was involved in this other gang. It was a gang that stretched all the way from KZN, but we had our base in Johannesburg as well. We were controlling almost our entire neighborhood, even though we were fighting against this other colored gang. And at that time, because our gang was really big, I thought that I was untouchable and people were scared of me. We ran almost everything: drugs, your protection, rackets, and robberies. But power attracts attention, and soon enough, the police had my name on the most wanted list. Rival gangs, they wanted me dead. And every day when I would be walking or driving, it felt like it was my last. That was when I spoke with this other man, whom I'll call Mandla, an old friend. May his soul rest in peace. He approached me and he spoke of something that I had always been thinking about. And he said that there were ways for us to make sure that they will never catch us, specifically me. He said there is a way to make sure that they will never catch you. He said one night as we sat at the back of a dimly lit bar in Hillbrow, his voice was low, his eyes, he kept on looking around as if he wanted to tell me a secret, as if he wanted to bomb even the president's house. I asked him and I said, how do you mean that there is a way that I can make sure that no one will ever catch me? Because I had tried everything: bribing cops, hiding out, changing safe houses each and every few days, but nothing felt safe anymore. Some of the cops that were working with our gang, they said that the heat had been turned up on them. They were unable to collect the money. And he then whispered and he said, Izizwe, and they are spirits, you know, that they will protect you, make you invisible to your enemies, and no one will ever touch you. I had heard about this charm before, like the spirits of the dead that can be woken up and then they can protect you. Even though the charm is said to be very dangerous, that one I knew, but I was desperate because I felt that the walls were closing up on me and I was willing to do anything just to stay on top. My friend said that he wanted to take me to a traditional healer. She was someone who lived there in Venda, but she had been to Durban, where she had been trained to perform this type of rituals. So we had to drive all the way from Gauteng. Then we went there to Venda. We met up with this old woman. She was old, and when she looked at me, she kept on burning these herbs, and she said that she was going to assist me. She even prophesied, and she said that in 2 months down the line, if I had not came to her homestead, I was going to be shot dead. and she said that she was going to assist me, and she said that I know that you want to be untouchable. That was the reason why I had came to her compound. I nodded and I said that I needed protection, I needed power, and she said that she was going to give me that type of a charm which we call Izizwe in my language. But she said that this charm, it does not just come alone. You need to know that the moment that we are creating this charm, once we invite these spirits, almost like the spirits of the dead, into your life, these spirits of the dead, they would demand that you give them something in return, a place to stay in your bloodline. And the cost was more than what I thought was worth it at that time. I should have listened at that time to my inner voice, and I should have walked away right then. But all that I could think about was surviving and wanting to be in the gang forever and staying ahead of the law. That was when I agreed to do the ritual. The night of the ritual, it seemed as if I had even demons that were speaking with me. That woman gave me a charm. This charm, it was a small bag of bones and herbs, and told me to keep it with me always. It was a very small bag that I was keeping in my wallet. And when I would have arrived back home, she said, in my village where I was born, that was where I was supposed to go to. So when we returned back to Gauteng, like she had instructed me to do, I went back to the village where I ended up burying that wallet with the charms at a crossroad. And this ritual was going to call upon the spirits of the dead so that they can protect me at all the times. I did everything that she had asked me to do, and for years and years it was working for me. I would even be able to evade the police. It seems as if the enemies, when they wanted me dead, they just did not have the power, the strength to touch me. There was no one who was able to touch me, and I grew much more stronger. My reputation grew much more stronger until I became what they call in our language Inkabi. This was in 2005. That was when I was arrested. When I was arrested, I was then taken to prison because of a hit that I had been offered. Little did I know that this hit that I had been offered, I was being trapped by the undercover detectives. So when I accepted the money, then I got arrested and I was rotting in prison. Whilst I was rotting in prison, I started to have nightmares. I would wake up and I would see a man, like a creature, a very scary creature that will be leaving the prison cell where I was at. At that time, I did not have any idea of what was happening in the outside world. My children, who were still young then, they were also experiencing the same terrible nightmares that I was experiencing whilst I was rotting in prison. They would hear demons whispering to them. Right now, my sons, they are like psychotic in nature. When they drink alcohol, all that they want to do is to be violent. By 2010, that was when my eldest daughter started having seizures. They took her to different doctors, and I was released from prison. I knew that it was already too late. Even though my friend had passed away, I found myself driving back to Venda, trying to find that woman, but she had died many years when I was still in prison. I have tried to seek other sangomas so that they can reverse this curse, but it seems as if it is too late. It is not just my children that are suffering, my grandchildren. I now have 4 grandchildren, all of them that have been born with Down syndromes, and the Sangoma who has tried to assist me has told me that this is going to continue in my generation. Kids are going to be born with disability, especially your type of a disability that is called Down's syndrome, because of these demons, the spirits of the dead that I woke up at that time when I wanted these demonic spirits to protect me. When I look at my sons, it gives me a lot of pain in my heart, because whenever they drink alcohol, all that they want to be is to be violent. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admin who helped us with this confession, hoping that you were able to understand this confession. If you know more about this charm, the ritual, please also assist us in the comment section.